What's that?
CPC.
All right, welcome everybody to the March 21st Fisp meeting. Roll call, everyone's present except Kate, Ivers, Siobhan, and Raj, right? Yep. Let's see, police station, site plan sign off. I don't think, we find out about the fence on that?
Kate Ivers is here.
Okay. Let me see.
Site plan sign off.
So the fence is going in April, date to be determined. McMillan, CBA did produce a plan that can be formally submitted to the planning board once the fence is installed. I sent it to the planning board as a preliminary, just so they knew that it was,
Okay.
all set. But once Butch gets the actual fence installed, then it, then we can put that formally to the planning board and request that they sign off. It sounded like there were a few other issues, though, that there's conversations back and forth between the planning board and CBA about some other site plan things, so I just need to double check on what the status of that is.
Okay, so maybe for the next meeting, we can figure out what's going on, because I haven't heard anything else about site plan, other than the fence. Anything else for the police station?
Real quick, I had spoken to Tony on a punch list item when we were doing the walkthrough. There's a curb that is crushed. It was crushed from the construction equipment. He said that, yeah, that's on the punch list. Once the asphalt plants open up, we're gonna fix it. He's no longer doing that, so I just wanna make sure that that gets addressed on the punch list.
Anything else on the police station? All right,
Do we know when we're gonna get the bid on taking care of that wiring?
I mean the HV? HV is?
No.
The AC?
No.
The
HVAC.
individual.
now Chris and I talked to Tony, no, who we talked to?
John.
John McMillan. He said there is ports in the walls for the wiring. Right?
Yeah,
Do they not work, or do they not know how to connect them?
could be all of the above.
He wasn't sure about that, but he said the wall was had the piping and
I
stuff.
can't imagine that they would have built this building with 2 TVs and no behind the wall.
He said it was in the walls. He didn't know why.
Maybe they're waiting for this new equipment, we think, this new equipment that they purchased that we approved. Maybe that's the switching.
So-
we
Still don't know.
So we don't
No, we
know.
don't.
But he did say there was the walls were finished with them inside of. So it should be some kind of piping to put a wire through. Time will tell.
Okay.
Any news on the flagpole issue?
No, that's,
No, there is news.
It's on the punch list, it's supposed to be.
it's on the punch list.
Oh,
yeah.
The interior of the, did you see the email? Something's done with the interior, it's not right. Something inside the flagpole has to be reworked in order
That
to
was
make
our
it.
last meeting we talked about.
Yeah.
that, John.
No, but there was an email
There
that,
was an email,
a
that's the
subsequent
email.
email that came out after
Put
that.
out more information, as long as it's on the burner.
Yeah. All right, the senior center, OPM contract, Tony came back originally with $124,000 for his OPM. Anita and I talked, he'd do 110.
$110,600 is the revised, I sent it out to everybody.
Everybody get that?
What was the original,
102.
124.5.
no, the original, if we didn't go
If we
re,
stayed with Cardinal, it'd be 102.
so it's 8%, a little bit less than 8% raise.
But for me to have someone that we're comfortable with, it's definitely worth the $8,000 difference. And like I said, he did, because originally his company wanted 124 and change. They did come down to 110 and change.
And the issue with Tony being the man, that's, he's agreed to
Clerk
that.
of work.
Tony's gonna be the guy, he's not gonna be called
Right.
to 7 different jobs during our
And
project.
I asked him that directly. I said, who's going to be called? He said, he's the one who's going to be responsible. He's going to act as the clerk of the works. And so he'll be responsible for from day one. He figures the 300 days.
I don't think they,
I don't think it's, clerk of works is there every single day.
yes.
He told me.
Based on the proposal, the project manager, senior project manager, which is Tony, they based it on a percentage of time.
20%.
So, I mean, there will be times when Tony will be the point person for all the key issues. The other individual, whose name I think was Phil something, was going to be the person who was on site during the construction phase. So in the same way that Tony was the point person for the police station project and for the design phases of the senior center project, he will be that same role for the senior center construction. But, I think that we need to be mindful of the fact that Colliers is putting him at a lower percentage in terms of the overall cost of the project. So, we just need to be mindful of that. And if we feel that, Colliers is hamstringing him at all, then we need to have a discussion with them about perhaps the adjustment of hours within the contract value.
So you said there is a clerk of the works that's gonna be there for
Yes.
the other time?
Yes.
That's,
It's included in the contract.
you have it, you'll have to work that out with them, you say, oh, you have the contract.
We have the scope of services that they have to provide all of the,
But we still have to see if they agree with all of that stuff, or have they agreed with all?
they have, and this is their revised proposal takes all of that into account. Yep.
So is it a full-time clerk of the works?
No, and it wasn't for the police station either.
What, are the percentages similar? Do we know what?
That I could not tell you. But it's based on what the need is at the time. I mean, if they have to keep the OPM up to speed in terms of the schedule for each week. So if they know that there's construction going on that requires oversight, the OPM firm knows that, will assign the clerk of the work there for the hours necessary. And those include things like soil testing, concrete testing, ensuring that wiring is being properly installed, those types of things.
Okay.
What
Again,
concerns me is I'd hate to make a kind of assumption that we're gonna be working with Tony in the same way that we worked with Tony on the police station, and then find out, 3 or 4 months into the job, that that's not that way at all.
well, the discussion I had with Tony 2 days ago was saying that he would act as a clerk of the works, and he would be the point person for everything, like he was in the police station.
Well, then that satisfies me.
But, I know it might satisfy us, but it's, Tony is a little dot now, and in that other company, he was the guy.
Yeah.
He made his own schedule, he did everything. We gotta understand that they have how many employees? 108 employees compared to maybe 3. So Tony, so we're in a different boat, we have to be prepared for that.
Yes?
And I can't imagine he's gonna be the clerk of the works. I hope there's gonna be another person there.
He told me he was gonna do the clerk of the work duties, that's what he told me. That's the word,
That amazes me, but okay.
that's what he said to me.
Well, at least we can talk to Tony, frankly, and tell him what we want, and he usually responds.
He's very accessible, every time you ever called him, he always responds to a phone call.
I agree with that.
Well, I'll move that we vote to advise the board of selectmen to proceed with the contract with Colliers.
Second.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the other thing, they're gonna have a kickoff meeting on April 2nd? So if anybody wants to attend,
What day of the week is that?
the OPM,
OPM firm,
along
with
with
RAC.
RAC Builders.
What day of the week is that?
April 2nd is,
Tuesday?
Not a weekend, right?
It's a Tuesday.
what day is that?
Monday or Tuesday?
You mean on the site?
Must be a Monday, because
No, it's gonna be
Wednesday's the
here.
4th.
It's gonna be-
It's a roundtable meeting, huh? What
Second.
is a kickoff?
What time is that?
Monday, it's during the day though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just,
What time is that?
wait, Anita, do you know what time it is?
They have not set a time.
You have set time. But, so if anybody on this board wants to attend,
Is it gonna be during the day?
it's more than welcome, but we can only have,
Well, we have a subcommittee in place. Is
Yeah.
the subcommittee
The
going, or
subcommittee.
is the whole committee being, are we gonna post it at a meeting and?
that's
I
what-
won't be there.
That's what I'm saying, so we need to decide that, if we want just a subcommittee to go.
What's the subcommittee?
Isn't the one we have in place now?
It's not the construction subcommittee that meets every week with them.
It's the same group that we already voted in, right?
That was for the OPM services, is that what we're talking about?
No, we've been
The what?
Design
talking with
phase.
the group for the last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
And those
That-
members are,
It's Phil, Raj, myself, and Bob.
Oh, that's the subcommittee for design, et cetera, right?
Now, what about for the building? Because someone's gonna have to be there for the building meetings.
As we did with the police station every Monday morning.
I mean, hopefully I can be there. I mean,
And I will.
yeah, I mean, as long as, there's two that just said, yes, they can be there. If I can be there, if Raj can be there, there'll be 3 or 4.
Okay.
So once
You
we
want to
get this-
include, oh, that will be.
April 2nd, we're waiting for the time.
Yep. Okay. Anything else on that? Everybody comfortable with that? Everybody know what's going on with that? Okay, are there any other updates? Anybody have anything else?
Any other business, did you say?
Yeah.
I just want to make a quick report on fundraising. We're creating an account with the Friends 501c3 to receive monies. We're creating a subcommittee of the Friends to oversee fundraising and administrate the activity. Chris will be the chairperson of that subcommittee. I'll be the deputy chairperson or vice chair or whatever. We have a meeting set up on April 6th with Tom Bartholomew to get his input on fundraising ideas and anything that he can tell us about prospect lists or anything else that he knows. I'm working on a case for support. If anybody has any input for that, I would very much appreciate it. It should range all the way from West Boylston is at a disadvantage because we don't have as much taxable property as other towns and need help, to an institution who could really benefit from it, putting their name on the door for naming rights, maybe.
I think we need to meet to start talking
Yeah,
about all of that.
but
stuff.
I just
And
want
then-
to get people thinking about this, right? And email me with any ideas that you may have. And we're still thinking about recruiting a United Way type chairperson who would sign letters, use his or her influence to approach people, corporations, foundations, et cetera, to raise money and grants. So that's where we are at this time. I urge everybody to consider, Chris and I cannot do this alone. We need people to step up, and we're also still thinking about having the auction somewhere in the fall, after Labor Day. We'd have a nice big program with that. People donate things to get in the program. And we'd have a gala at the Manor to celebrate all this fundraising activity, hopefully, which will be successful. And Anita and the grant writers, have you submitted any grants yet? Have you got a prospect list for grants?
Lisa was supposed to be in direct contact with Theo Jordan, the grant writer, about that.
Okay, and she also talked with somebody, a competitor in Sterling of Oakdale, and that person did a lot of fundraising in her previous job and is sending us letters that they have used as templates, etc. So thank you.
Do you know if Friends has a lot of money? Are they donating any money to that?
Who?
Friends group.
The Friends, I don't know.
This was one of the-
I have to leave that to the Friends board, or let's put it this way.
Mhm.
We can begin to ask forcefully once we've established ourselves and started doing stuff that's worth
Yep.
doing and shown some signs of success.
A quick question. How much, like, data do we have in terms of, like, the people who live here? Do we have email addresses or phone numbers? Can we, things like that?
All of them are
I was just thinking, like,
addresses.
Are you talking about a general mailing, Kate?
yeah, well, that's like direct mail, which I was thinking, but then like email, campaign,
We don't have
phone
email.
banking,
The best
nothing
we
like
could
that?
do in regards to that, I don't think this is is a residence mailer.
Okay, so like a direct mailer.
Every resident.
So,
Yeah.
but we'll develop that
Okay.
as we move along
Yeah.
here. And any ideas or
Yeah.
input that you can give me, please email
I'll send
me
you an
and
email.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I will.
The way we'll conduct this fundraising, by the way, from a technical, is emails and texts. As we move along, I'll develop a loop, an email loop that we can all communicate through. Probably end up being fairly large, but still.
Do you have on the platform naming rights for the building, for individual rooms?
We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, I think this committee's never met yet. So, I mean, this is only thoughts.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Right.
I'm about to create the stationery notes. So
Well, I think we should meet first.
yeah, let the mine
Yeah.
out first.
Ray, just to answer your comment, if I may, I believe we have already a naming committee in the community. That nothing to be named without their imprimatur on the,
They never met.
No, wait, again, I'm not sure if this issue falls under that. I think that's a current, this is a fundraiser, so. It's like when we do bricks in different projects, we don't have to go through them if I put my name on
Is there anything else for the Fisp?
But now this is, what I just did is part of the public relations for the fundraising, because it's gonna go on the cable station, it's gonna be in the minutes, so it's like getting the word out that this is happening, and encouraging people to contact us, about how they might help, if they wanna contribute, et cetera.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You?